Well, under a new sentencing bill, criminals facing jail terms of less than 12 months will be allowed to serve their punishment in the community. But Suella Braverman has hit back at this. She's claiming the policy won't stop them from reoffending. She's demanding automatic jail terms for the most prolific offenders. Well, I'm joined now by former Prisons Minister Ann Widdecombe. And Ann will be joining us in just a second. What do you make of this? Do you think that we should have some of the most prolific offenders just allowed to serve their sentences in the community? That, to me, sounds quite a lot like freedom. Should the worst offenders be automatically sent to jail? And obviously, as this country continues to be swept by a knife crime epidemic, a 4-year-old boy was sadly stabbed to death in East London last night as well. In Liverpool, stab survival cupboards containing vital medical equipment have been installed in the first initiative of its kind. These are designed to help the public treat victims before paramedics arrive. And then grief. I mean, you couple that with James Cleverly's Happy Christmas message earlier on, don't you? Which is basically, you know, Happy Christmas, everybody. Try not to get blown up by a complete lunatic at a Christmas market. And it does really make you wonder about law and order in this country. And instead of building more prisons so that we could put more people in those prisons and give them longer sentences, it appears to me like another catastrophic infrastructure problem where we decide to capitulate. Instead, we say, look, what we're going to do is send fewer people to prison, and the ones we do send there, we're going to remove quicker and release them out into the wild so that they can move in next to people like your loved ones. Ann Widdecombe does join us now, former Prisons Minister. Ann, thank you very, very much. Is Suella Braverman right? Should we be locking up more criminals for longer?
Well, yes, of course we should. And crucially, we should not be sending any message to people that it's OK, you know, to commit offence after offence after offence. And as long as they're fairly minor offences, well, they won't go to prison. That is not the right message to send out. Because, of course, there are two reasons for putting people in prison. One is to punish them for what they've done. But crucially, the other is to keep people safe from them. And if people are committing, even if it's low-level crime, if they're committing it prolifically, then the rest of us are not being kept safe.
No, indeed. And it does appear like we're all being sacrificed because we haven't built enough prisons. I know in Ann Widdecombe's Britain, we'd have plenty of prisons and plenty of people in them, wouldn't we, Ann?
Well, we most certainly would. And we would have at least 20,000 extra prison places. And when I went through this, when I was actually in the Home Office in charge of prisons, we had a sudden surge in the prison population. I didn't say, oh dear, don't send people to prison. I brought in extra prison places, brought in a prison ship, brought in cabins from disused Norwegian oil rigs, put them down in the lower security prisons. Plenty of ways of doing it if you have the will. Sunak has no will.
No, indeed. Now, Ann, we're going to have to be very quick here because we had a little bit of a delay getting you on, but I understand that you've got some comments about Dame Esther Ransom because she's announced that she's signed up to Dignitas. What are your views on this?
Well, let me say right away, I understand fully why she and anybody else who is facing a long drawn-out death, I understand why they would want the law changed. But the reason that it's never been changed and the reason that it's failed time after time in both houses of Parliament is that getting enough adequate, reliable safeguards into the system is well nigh impossible. Just look at what is happening in countries that have already done this.